streamed from our brains to our mouths, to your ears, to your brain. It's like our brains are holding hands. Brain hands. That doesn't really make sense, but Techwebcast does. Tech stuff, gadgets, games. Come and wander around geek heaven with us. Techwebcast. Here, now. Holding brain hands.
Welcome to episode 292 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on the 7th of June 2014. Techwebcast is recorded every Saturday at 12 p.m. Please rate us on iTunes and like us at facebook.com/Techwebcast. Your hosts today are Brad, Steve, Jody, Jennifer, Jacob, and myself, Andrew. And our very special guest today is Bryce Bilster from YouTube channel Blista57. G'day, Brad. How you doing today?
G'day, Andrew. I'm going fantastic. And yourself, mate?
Not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. Another week over, and watched the Socceroos this morning, which was a pretty good friendly shootout before the World Cup. So, yeah, good morning.
It is a very good morning. Always good to have it on the iPad. Do you use the iPad?
Yeah, I do. I love it on the iPad. The Foxtel service there, Foxtel Play through the iPad. It's Foxtel Go. Sorry, it's a really good platform. So, really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, mate. I agree. It's a great service to have on the iPad, and it's good quality picture too.
Absolutely.
Jacob, what's up? Welcome back again for another podcast episode.
Thank you very much. And how are you doing?
I'm going fantastic, mate. How's your week been? Anything exciting happening to you? You can announce or want to mention?
My mom had to have eye surgery when she went to her appointment today.
Wow. So she went and got her eyes checked, and then she had to get rushed to a hospital to get surgery.
Well, they did it right there in the office.
Maybe it was LASIK. I don't know. What was it?
Wow.
Well,
how does that work?
Hole in their,
Is that like she walks in, can you see me? No, let's go.
So explain, Jake, how did they do it? They actually had to cut her eye open, or what? What did they do?
They had to use laser.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she had a hole in her retina.
Damn. Okay. Well, I hope you get well. What's her name again, Jacob?
Betty.
Betty. Hope you get well, Betty. Yeah. Steve, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? Actually, I do got some exciting coming up. Sunday, I'm going to be going down, and there's a woman, she does... It's called Business View, which is basically street views for Google Maps, where she goes into a business and photographs the inside and turns it into a 360 virtual tour. So I'm going to be interviewing her and showing some of what she does.
Nice one. That'll be on next week's show, right, Steve?
I have to see, because we're going to wait until the virtual tour maybe goes onto Google Maps, because we want to show like the end product once it gets done, so it may be a couple of weeks.
So we might stack that up for a future show then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, we got Jennifer back on. Welcome, Jennifer. How's your week been?
Hi there. My week has been hectic. I had some Mac woes, but other than that, it went pretty well. And I got to ask Steve, is she imaging the inside of your place or your business?
No. That'd be cool if you did, but there's really not much to see inside my place. It's just pretty small. It's some business. She already sent me where I have to go, and then I'm not even sure what business it is, but supposedly she's got permission from the business to do this. Obviously, this gives them more advertising, free advertising. So it's going to be interesting to see, from the beginning to the end stages, how it works out.
Definitely. Very cool interview.
Very cool. Yeah. I hear about. Okay, we got Bryce back on from Blista57 YouTube channel.
Jennifer on Jody on as well.
Yep.
We said good morning to Jody.
Yeah, I was just about to get to her in a second. Jody, you there? Welcome back. I'll jump to her now.
Okay. Hi, guys. It's good to be back.
Welcome back, Jody. You have your Mac problems?
Yes. Unfortunately, there's something weird going on. I think my Mac has a ghost. But I keep getting an alert that tells me that my hard drive is full.
Wow.
Almost like something keeps duplicating, and I've been moving things off systematically to, I put a external terabyte hard drive, where there's portable passports.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is a really cool product. But that aside, every time I move stuff off the Mac, for some reason, it keeps telling me that the hard drive is full, regardless of how many gigs I've moved off. So I think a visit to the Mac store is in my future.
I think it is.
Have you? I was just going to say, have you deleted the Time Machine backups?
They're external. They're not on the computer.
Okay, they're on the external. Yeah. Maybe even just a re-imaging.
Airport.
Have you? Maybe like a clean install of Mavericks on your machine would take care of it.
Well, we'll see. I'm not going to do that unless they feel that that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
You know, like I said, I was telling Brad, it's like, well, tomorrow's dog shows, and then I've got a friend of mine, her daughter's bat mitzvah. Happy bat mitzvah, Xandra. And then we have more dog shows, and then by that time the stores are closed. Then work, and then meetings, and it's going to be probably Wednesday before I can get over there.
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's always
I know
it's always
crazy.
fun going to the Apple Store, I reckon, though.
Well,
It is fun. It is fun.
It is
Isn't
fun.
this
Okay, we got Bryce on. Welcome, Bryce.
Hey, Brad, how you going?
I'm going well, mate. And you're from your YouTube channel, which is still around?
Yeah, I haven't posted much, but yeah, it's still around.
Still going with them cool setup videos?
Yeah, I haven't posted one in a while.
Is there one coming?
I don't know, maybe.
All right. Well, we'll chat to you about that soon and other things. So we'll get into some news then. Jody and Jennifer, and let me just play this real quick.
And now is the time for Techwebcast news. And our first story is coming from TechAU, our friend Jason Cartwright, techau.com.au. And he's writing about NBN Co. They are publishing some more rollout information. And the company building and operating Australia's national broadcast network is making available more information about the progress about their rollout. The interactive rollout map is actually on the NBN Co. website, and it displays the communities in the fixed line footprint where the build preparation is taking place. Now, there are currently 195,000 families and businesses that have an active NBN connection across all technologies, and this new mapping technology is a positive change in the transparency of the project's progress, but there is still a large gap between this 3-year announcement under the labor, and the biggest issue is the lack of communication around the rollout schedules, but now we have a map that kind of shows what's going on, so take a look at the map. And Jody, what do you have for us?
10 Play on Xbox is now available without Live Gold subscription. You used to have to pay for a subscription and ran about $80 a year. Well, 10 Play is now available on web, mobile, tablets, and smart TVs with catch-up and live streaming capabilities. The 10 Play app gives Xbox One and Xbox 360 users access to 10, 11, and 1 shows on demand straight after they've appeared on television, as well as real-time viewing with live streaming of news and sporting events. Users can also earn exclusive artwork and badges by watching their favorite shows, watch programming at the same time as playing games or using other apps, and take advantage of the features offered by Xbox 360 to navigate the app with their voice or gestures via Kinect. So now if you want to download 10 Play app for Xbox One or Xbox 360, you should visit the Games and Apps section in the Xbox Live dashboard or go to 10play.com.au/apps for more information. Back to you, Jen.
This story is coming from TheVerge.com, and it is about video streaming. They're saying that video streaming services could actually make more money than the U.S. box office does by the year 2017. Online streaming video services such as Netflix and Hulu will make more money than the U.S. box office by 2017. This is actually according to a report that's released by PricewaterhouseCoopers. And the report projects that the streaming services will be the largest contributor to the American film industry in 4 years. And the revenue generated by TV and subscription video on demand providers reaches almost $14 billion, and that's $1.6 billion more than the amount earned from the traditional cinema box office. And over to you, Jody.
Okay, more Xbox news. Xbox One is getting Twitter, Vine, and HBO Go by year's end. So there you were using your Xbox One, thinking how much you'd like to watch a variety of 6-second video clips, right? Maybe? Okay, well, maybe you were using your Xbox One thinking how much you'd like to see a list of what's trending on Twitter. All right, let's stop kidding ourselves. There's a high likelihood no one is doing those things, but Microsoft is answering the non-existent call regardless and adding both services to the Xbox One. Those are just 2 of the 45 new apps heading to Xbox One and Xbox 360, including the long-promised HBO Go app, Comedy Central, Watch ABC, and more. Moreover, the most popular experiences are scheduled to launch by the end of this holiday season. So lots of new apps, Xbox One, holiday spoiler. So back to you, Jen.
This next story is coming from ozpodcast.com.au, and it is about their inaugural hangout that they had on June 3rd. So they're moving to the hangout space. And they had a hangout with Josh from Russell Radio Australia, and our very own Brad from our show Techwebcast was on as well. And they talked about what can be done to benefit the Australian podcasting community and what can be done to better serve Australian podcasters. So definitely check that out. That's at ozpodcast.com.au. And over to you, Jody.
Okay. Verizon sends a cease and desist letter over Netflix's public jab. You might have seen this one. And Verizon is not going to take an insult from Netflix sitting down. The broadband company sent a cease and desist letter to Netflix on Thursday about a message Netflix has been showing some customers that blames congestion on Verizon's network for slow network speeds. Netflix subscribers have begun noticing that when videos stop streaming properly, a message appears on the screen indicating that congestion on an internet service provider's network is to blame for the interruption. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but they were testing ways to let consumers know how their Netflix experience is being affected by congestion on the broadband provider's network. Verizon countered that the notification is a PR stunt. They're investigating the claim, but it seems misleading and could confuse people, according to Verizon. So the source of the problem, according to Verizon, is not Verizon. But apparently, the fighting goes back and forth. And in the cease and desist letter sent on Thursday, Verizon wrote, quote, "There is no basis for Netflix to assert that issues with respect to playback of any particular video session are attributable solely to the Verizon network," end quote. So the fight goes on. I guess we'll have to see what happens with these two giants of the industry. Again, like recently Netflix kind of gave in. They did strike deals with Comcast and Verizon. Netflix streaming on both Comcast and Verizon networks. So, and then you keep hearing from the net neutrality activists who argue that all internet traffic should be treated equally. They've cried afoul at Netflix being compelled to buy preferential treatment from internet service providers. So again, the war goes on, and our video gets messed up. Back to you, Jen.
This next story is coming from TechCrunch.com, and it is about Amazon and 3D technology using face tracking tech, actually. And they have confirmed that Amazon will be launching its first smartphone on June 18th. This device will be unique in the marketplace because it has an ability to deliver 3D effects courtesy of 4 front-mounted IR cameras. And what wasn't known is how Amazon planned to scan our faces to handle the UI elements. Well, TechCrunch actually learned that Amazon is using Omron's Okeo Vision face sensing technology to track the user's head. This Japanese firm's technology was modified by an internal team at Amazon to allow its upcoming phone to deliver unique stereoscopic effects from a standard LCD screen. So the result is a 3D effect currently unique in the marketplace, and 3D glasses will not be needed, and they aren't limiting 3D factors like on the Nintendo 3DS. And hopefully third-party developers will latch onto the system and develop apps that will take advantage of this new head tracking software. They're told that the 3D feature is very limited out of the box, and at launch there will just be a few added gestures built into the operating system that will use this new feature. And over to you, Jody.
Okay, so when you use your iPhone, you've got that little hole in the bottom that you stick your headphones in. Well, apparently, Apple has quietly introduced a new spec for manufacturers in their Made for iPhone, iPad, iPod program that allows them to create headphones that connect to iOS devices using a Lightning connector instead of the usual 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Now, Apple hasn't flipped the switch yet on the audio input support for the Lightning cables for the existing iOS devices, but it will release a software update in the future that'll enable support in devices running iOS 7.1 or later. The Lightning headphones, kind of cool because they're going to be capable of receiving lossless stereo 48 kilohertz digital audio output from Apple devices and sending mono 46 kilohertz audio input. So kind of cool stuff. There's a few other benefits of using the Lightning cable to send audio. Apple says that the headphones will be able to draw power from an Apple device, even if the device is asleep, which for some products could eliminate the cost associated with an internal battery. It could also work the other way around by providing power to an Apple device from an internal battery or external power source that enables you to listen to music and also use a pass-through setup so you could charge the device simultaneously, much as you can with an audio dock that uses a Lightning connector. So pretty cool stuff that's coming down the pike from Apple. Back to you, Jen.
Well, if you've ever wanted to find out if someone is actually, when you have a Facebook friend and they're hiding their friend list and you want to know who's in their friend list, if you want to find that out, lifehacker.com actually has a solution for you where you can uncover every friend of someone or on someone's private Facebook friends list. So how does this hack work? Well, to start, you'll have to do a little bit of detective work, and you identify a friend of yours that is a friend of the intended target, and you think about where that target works, some groups that they might be a member of, and maybe they associate with certain people. And if you don't know what to go on, you can take a look at Facebook's graph search to find some potential friends. Number two, once you've nailed down this friend of your target, you need to find out both of their account ID names, and you can do this by looking at their Facebook page and looking at the end of the URL. With both user IDs, you want to insert them into a specific URL, and I'll read this here so you guys can jot it down if you want to. It's Facebook, www.facebook.com/target_ID/friends ? And equals friend_of_target_ID. So you would type this and take a look at the Life Hacker article if you didn't get that. And then with this search, you'll see every friend that they have in common. And from there, it's a process of elimination until you uncover all of your friends, your target's friends. If they have 300 friends and your search came up with 50 friends in common, you'll know there are still 250 more friends to identify. You repeat the process to find them all. They say it's easy to do, but it takes a little bit of time. So I guess you can give it a shot if you're really bored. And that's all we have for the news.
Great.
Wait, one more.
Is there one more?
What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jody.
That's okay. No, it was something that I added. This week was the Worldwide Developer Conference, and Apple had a keynote, and there were some announcements that I think are kind of important. For example, Apple introduced OS X 10.10, which is called Yosemite. That's the latest version of the Mac operating system. It's the sequel to last year's OS X Mavericks, and it includes a user interface redesign as well as major new features, focusing on seamless integration between Mac and iOS devices, a new cloud storage system called iCloud Drive, as well as the ability to make phone calls and send text messages through an iPhone. They also introduced iOS 8. That was the multitude of new features for consumers, including revamped notification features, an upgrade to the keyboard's autocorrect functionality called QuickType, support for third-party keyboards, improvements to Mail, and the much-rumored health tracking feature and companion app called HealthKit. I believe there was also a new developer code that was announced, but that was kind of big news this week.
Great news, Jody and Jennifer. Thanks for reading the news stories as always each week. Andrew, let's go to you. Any views on them stories at all? You got an opinion on any of them at all?
Yeah, there's a few interesting ones on there. The 10-play stuff, I really hope that 10 can use that 10-play app for catch-up on programming and things to really try and compete and get back into the market. We spoke to Stephen from Quick Flicks a couple of weeks ago, and we hear that Channel 9 have a really cool app coming, but I'm just really hoping that 10 can get some traction and get that 10-play out there and really get some get some market shake-up before some of the other guys come along. Interesting with Xbox One adding Twitter and all this sort of stuff. I think it's just absolutely not needed, as the story said. I mean, if I want to tweet, I'll pick up my phone or my Mac. I'm not going to go, I'm going to go and turn on my Xbox. It's just a bit silly. The Verizon one, very interesting. Again, I think Verizon are doing it. I think they are shortchanging people's bandwidth because they're not getting a piece of Netflix and other streaming media's business. And if it does come out that that's happening, then they're going to look a bit silly if they've actually pointed the finger back at Netflix. And then, just finally, it's interesting with the Apple announcements during the week that the new coding language looks really good. My developer, David, has spent a lot of this week really putting his head around it and, trying to learn and understand. And apparently it's a really cool sort of platform to make things easier, quicker, and more dynamic. And other than that, probably a few different good announcements, but as people have said, nothing groundbreaking. Yep. And I think Apple have actually built a lot of existing individual apps into their operating system, which I'm not a huge fan of when they do that.
You've got iOS 8 on your iPad, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I've been playing with iOS 8 all week on the iPad.
What's your view on that?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So far, it's just little things like being able to sync it up to your MacBook and have things automatically appear on both and, finish working on a document on that and then pick up on. So, I haven't had a huge play around with it, but my initial impression is that it's good. It's not a reinvention like iOS 7 was, certainly from a UI perspective, but I think it's a good product and, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And just finally on the headphones with using the Lightning adapter, I really don't like that at all. I mean, we have a headphone port that is universal. It works on everything. And to me, that's just the first step of Apple moving into the business of trying to sell us headphones that will only work on their device. And before you know it, they're going to go from $4 on eBay to $140 for a pair of headphones.
Good point about the headphones, because if you want to use a particular pair of headphones, you can't use them anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Bryce. Bryce, do you have any opinions on them stories, mate?
I thought in regards to the Netflix streaming, it's kind of unrelated to the story, but I always use it. I mean, I use it every day. The service that you put me onto, that Uno Telly or
yep,
whatever it was, that thing really works great. I'm a huge fan of Netflix. I think that definitely is the way of the future. I mean, it's just great to have everything on demand, and
it is.
It's like that service that I got. I can't believe it's really, really cheap, and it's crazy. You can get the Super HD streaming, and there's no. There might be a bit of quality loss, but generally it plays in 1080p, and I'm a huge fan of it. And I thought the headphones going through the Lightning port, I thought that was a pretty interesting story. I think that now that Apple's acquired Beats, it's probably just something that they're doing to because they'll be able to, and it will be better audio quality, but I guess they will probably try and make a lot of the Beats products proprietary or just only be able to connect to their products. But yeah, I mean, in regards to when they acquired Beats a little while ago, I'm not too sure why they acquired Beats. I mean, to begin with, I didn't think it was. I mean, their products are pretty good, but I don't think that groundbreaking. But there were rumors that they wanted to get Jimmy Iovine to secure some of the media deals for them and stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes with the Beats acquisition.
Yeah, definitely.
And then in regards to OS X having free upgrades now, I actually thought about that when they first announced the free upgrades to their operating systems a while ago. It's interesting how they came in and pretty much undercut Microsoft, and now they've got the free upgrades for their computer operating systems, which I thought was pretty interesting when that came out a while ago now. But all the recent upgrades they've announced, I think they look good with the better integration with your iOS devices, and I always think that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited with their announcements, and I thought that the upgrades look, while they're not anything groundbreaking, they definitely, I'm looking forward to them.
You use your iPad a lot, Bryce?
Yeah, all the time. I use it every day.
What Apple products do you own?
Sorry?
What Apple products do you own?
So I got one of the new MacBook Pros. I'm really happy with that. I wasn't a fan of them before, but I think that they're definitely much improved now, and I'm a huge fan of the MacBook Pro. So I've got the iPad that I use every day, my MacBook Pro, Mac Pro, obviously the iPhone. Don't use the iPod Touch. But those are my staples: the MacBook Pro, Mac Pro, Cinema displays, iPhone.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Steve, what about you? What's your view on all this, and what's your feature of the keynote happened the other day?
Yeah, I basically watched the whole thing. Luckily, I didn't have to go to work. It was about 2 hours long. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And it was surprisingly entertaining, too. A lot of people say since Jobs is not with us anymore, keynotes aren't very fun to watch. This time
funny.
it was a lot better. Craig
was funny. I can't remember his name. Yeah. Craig. He was funny.
Yeah, they put Dr. Dre in there as I guess. Well, yeah. Not a joke, but
Yeah, he actually called him on the phone.
Yeah. I am kind of looking forward to some of the new features. Of course, with the news story using the lightning cable for headphones. It's an interesting concept. Somebody mentioned with perhaps only being able to use it with their Apple devices. Hopefully they won't make that mistake and just make it Apple platform only, because that would really alienate their current customers, which I don't think they're willing to do, lose all that money over just a platform. Mm-hmm. It does add some interesting features, I guess, with being able to power the headphones or headphones powering a device, and I guess increased lossless audio. Of course, with the way the Beats headphones are currently, I don't see the use of lossless audio since the quality of Beats aren't very good to begin with. To me, unless they up the quality.
Have you heard RC before? Have you put them on?
I've heard some played through Beats, but as far as putting any out, I haven't had a chance to demo any. But I've heard some played through. Somebody recorded it through a Beats headphone, but.
All right, cool, mate. All right, Jacob, what about you?
Well, I don't like that because...
Don't like what?
The Apple making their Lightning port headsets.
Yeah, I reckon it's crazy.
Because there's one thing that they're going to be pushing, like if you want to get a new phone, then you'd have to get the headsets as well.
Yeah, I don't even use headphones on my phone anyway, so I'm not really that worried about it, but,
how much would it make the phone? if you had to buy the headsets and the phone at the same time, mattering on the size.
Yeah, true, mate. Anything else you want to mention?
That's what I really wanted to mention.
What about the keynote? Do you want to mention anything about the keynote you liked about it all?
That Ferengi guy, he was nutty. And they also, right after the show was over, there was a video made with everything.
Oh, yeah, there was, yeah. Good video, too.
It's a good music video.
It is a very cool music video. Let's go to Jennifer. What about you, Jennifer? What's your view on all this?
It's not very good health.
I enjoyed the story about the video streaming, how in the States, how the video streaming services will surpass the funds versus what we see in the movie theater. You know, I think it's really something that they're predicting $14 billion, which is at $1.6 billion more than the amount earned from the traditional cinema box office. And, you know, I never go to the movies anymore. I watch everything on my TV,
Yes.
you know. Yeah. I mean, what's the point of having a nice big TV,
Craig Shipp
you know?
mentioned something about TV. He reckons no one watches TV anymore. I think that's just all rubbish. People still use TVs. But
Yeah, people watch TV. Yeah. I mean, exactly. And I think a lot of people probably are watching maybe more on their devices than they are on their TVs mostly. I think the younger generation does, at least. So I found that story pretty interesting. And I'm also, I'm excited about WWDC. Anything that's new that comes out by Apple, I'm pretty excited about and happy about. I did give Yosemite a try earlier in the week.
you didn't.
And I was just stupid and I didn't think before I did it, and I upgraded the machine versus doing a clean install with it.
Right.
So it messed everything up. You know, it's in beta and it's not meant, I think, to upgrade a system to. So I had to completely wipe my machine and reinstall Mavericks. But, you know, from the few minutes that I actually had Yosemite installed, I liked what I saw, but I couldn't use everything. It kept on crashing. So you know. But and then the headphones, I think, is jacked up that they're making headphones with the lightning port adapter. That's just, or the lightning adapter. That's just or port rather. It's typical Apple.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
May I add something to that?
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, the headsets. Well, if they went lightning, they would have to make some type of adapter for the original use of headsets, because
Of course they would.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that, they would lose. The other big companies like Plantronics or something like that would lose money.
Yeah, it could be an adapter from a lightning connection to a 3.5 millimeter or something like that.
Yeah.
When do people wear these headphones? I mean,
I see people walk when they walk and stuff, or on the train or wherever, and that sort of thing.
The big ones? The big ones like that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I see people wear them. Yeah.
Still?
I think the big ones are a bit of a statement. Like, you've got the little ones, but the big ones are like, man, you know, these are my headphones. They're out and loud. I like listening to music. I'm going to do this. It's almost like a statement. And, you know, why did they buy Beats? Look, the headphones are pretty shitty. They're not a great headphone. Certainly not for the price. You can buy a headphone for $90. That's just as good as Beats. That costs $300. All Beats is they've bought a brand. And so what I think Apple are going to try and do is use that brand, obviously with the streaming service as well. They've got talent. They've got two pieces of talent that they've bought with it. It's really easy for Apple to make a better headphone. They've got all the technology there to just pull the guts out of the headphones, put better tech into them, and make a headphone that's worth $300. That's not the hard thing for them. The hard thing for them, or the reason I think they bought it, is because it's a brand and it's a new market. It's trying to get people who are maybe into hip hop and rap and stuff like that, maybe teens, early 20s, push them into the Apple market, whereas a lot of them right now are probably moving toward Android because it's cheap.
Yep.
Let's not mention Android. And Brian and Craig Shipp had a big discussion about Android during the week, and you should have seen it.
Oh, gosh, I can imagine.
Crazy. It went crazy.
Wow.
Look, I think it's great, the discussion between Apple and Android. I think they're both great products, and at times Android's copied Apple to get where they are today, and probably after the address last week, Apple are actually starting to copy Android in a few ways as well. But
I hate when you say that. That annoys me some way. But
it's all good because each person pushes the other. I mean, when someone starts running with good running shoes, the other guy has to go and buy good running shoes as well. So, and they do that, and then they innovate together. So I think it's healthy.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Jody, what about you?
Okay, so you guys all kind of took one side. I'm taking the other side. With regard to the headphones, okay, yeah, I think that there is something behind the purchase of Beats, and I also think that what you're going to find is that you are going to like the Lightning wire, because if there's an ability to charge the device at the same time as you're using the headphones, that suffices. That serves a huge purpose. And we're moving to these bricks and these external power supply solutions. I see that as being a solution, not as a problem. So we've used the regular adapters forever, and Apple has done this to us before. Just going from the iPad 3 to the next generation of the iPad, or the iPad 4, they changed the connector. That was really the only change. It went from the wider connection power cord to the Lightning wire. So I'm not horrified by it. I think we're going to accept it. We're going to like it, and it's going to have some cool features. But I think the other thing that's kind of interesting, this was one of the announcements that Apple had where they really didn't introduce a new product. So ever since Steve Jobs passed away and Tim Cook has been in charge, I mean, I don't know if it's just my perception, but it seems like they've made small iterations. They have kind of provided updates as opposed to coming out with something completely new. Tim Cook was kind of hinting that they were going to come out with some kind of wearable. Well, we still don't have a wearable, unless it's going to be kind of a headphone based as opposed to the Google wearable, which is obviously eyeglass based. But they didn't come out with anything that I thought was mind boggling or powerfully creative. And a lot of people are saying that Apple's lost its mojo. So kind of disappointed, to be honest.
Good comments with the headphones. I love that you're taking another aspect to it, which is very true. But with the wearables, that's true as well. I mean, they're doing little iterations on existing products, but maybe the risk of trying to come out with a new thing like a Google Glass or a wearable that totally fails, the risk of doing that is too great. Maybe they're happy for someone else to come out with a wearable that works, and they'll run and catch up and use their money and market base to bring out the same product after it's already market tested, perhaps.
But that's not Apple. I mean, Apple.
No,
think about the iPod, right? They came out with a device where you can carry the music in the palm of your hand, right? The iPhone. So many innovations. The iPad. They were coming out with a tablet that took the world by storm, and everybody else followed suit. It's not Apple.
Was that Apple or Steve Jobs?
Well, Steve Jobs was very visionary, wasn't he?
Well, I think innovation, you're not going to see it like every year. I mean, even between the iPod and the iPhone, it was like six or 7 years. In even their new Swift programming language, that took 4 years. So it takes a time to come out with something that will work, is intuitive, and sometimes they need to set it up with services or something like that. And I think they might be expecting a new hardware device perhaps in October. That was rumored. But I think it does take time for some things.
That's true. I mean, as you said, it's 4 years perhaps for a cycle. What if at the end of the third year they realize the market's actually shifted, so they abandon a platform, a product?
I guess it's possible.
The October timeframe makes sense because that's pretty much when they introduced the new phones. Right, Jen?
Right, September, October, right? The new
That's right.
phone, yeah. Yep, September or something.
Yeah, interject.
Go ahead, Jacob. Yep, make it quick, mate.
Yeah, I was reading earlier that it's going to be the iWatch.
The
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Would you buy an iWatch, Andrew?
No. I know what they do, and I know people who have them, but I don't see the benefit. I mean, I that's just my opinion.
I don't need a watch. I've already got.
I'd be more inclined to buy a better version of Google Glass than an iWatch.
Yeah, true.
One that actually doesn't make you look like the Borg.
You will be assimilated.
All right, we got Bryce on. Bryce, welcome back, mate. You've been on a while back.
Ayo.
Yeah.
And what have you been up to the last time we spoke? Any cool updates coming through or not?
Probably not. Yeah, the only things that I've just gotten recently was just the MacBook Pro, which I'm pretty happy with. And before that, I tried the 4K TV out.
Okay. Was that a review or did you actually buy it? Or?
No, I bought it, but I never actually did a review on it.
Okay. So what stopped you from doing reviews now? You're just not into doing them now, or you're just busy?
Yeah, I'm not as into doing them anymore, and YouTube's changed a bit, so it's not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people that have just kind of stopped making videos that used to make videos. So yeah, it's not the same as it used to be.
Right. And how's the 4K TV? How you liking that so far?
It's really good. I mean, there's no the only issue is obviously there's no real 4K content, so that sucks. But other than that, even the quality on 1080p, it's really good. I mean, the colors are vibrant. It's a brilliant display.
So do you see a difference with the upscaling from 1080p? Is there a better difference to a native 1080p?
I mean, like the actual, in terms of actual picture quality, it's probably not as good as a native 1080p, but the colors are more vibrant. I mean, I thought, like, when I bought it, I thought that 4K would be adopted a bit sooner, and plus I was looking at a box, I can't remember what it's called, the Nuvula or something, that was like a consumer 4K streaming box, and I actually have a pre-order for one of them, and so you can watch 4K YouTube videos and stuff like that on it and stream it, and it's taking a while for them to come out. I pre-ordered it last year, so it's taking a while, but once the 4K content comes through, it should be crazy.
All right, any questions, Andrew, for Bryce at all, mate?
Yeah, you've got some videos up there on YouTube. I mean, a lot of your videos have got hundreds of thousands of views, and some of them, like one of them is just, you showing your setup at home, or your office sort of setup. What's the secret? I mean, have you got any advice for other YouTube channel, curators on how to get those views? What's the secret there? Is it keywords, or is it just sort of where you share it, how you share it, or is there a bit of luck involved as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's always luck involved, but I think at the time when I was doing them originally, I was really, really into tech, and so I'd always have my setup looking really good. I mean, now it's not as good as the others. I mean, you can see, for example, Mr. Tybox is another YouTuber that has a crazy setup. But I mean, when I was doing it, YouTube was different. The Australian site wasn't segmented from the US, and so it was kind of like a connected community, and it was much easier to get views. So if I posted a setup video, US viewers could see it trending or whatever, and it was much easier. You could get more views back then. It was easier for people to find your content. The subscriptions worked better. Everything was really different, and then it started to go downhill in probably 2011, and then just from there on, everything was really segmented, and the viewer base was just smaller. But I mean, really, it was down to the fact that there was just expectations, and people wanted to see the videos. So, and I just had the proper keywords, and you got to make sure that the thumbnail looks good and stuff like that. But to be honest, nowadays with so many people on YouTube, I wouldn't even know where to start to say if you wanted to. I mean, people who get big now, it's either you have other people promoting your videos who already have the viewership, or it's just luck, because it's so hard to get decent views now and a lot of subscribers, and yeah.
And as you've said, it's hard too with the segmentation from going, worldwide back to Australia. I mean, you think you've got 300 million people in the US, maybe 24 million in Australia. it's people who want to see a tech setup with lots of screens and, landing airplanes and these sorts of fun things, video editing. That's a reasonably niche market. So if you consider 24 million people versus 324 million people, as soon as you close that gate to the US, you make that niche market really difficult to access.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when they started to really divide the markets up, it really impacted everyone. And I mean, now with all their like they have more sophisticated systems to check the view counts and stuff, but it drives the view count down a lot. I mean, even if you get maybe 1,000 more views than you're not supposed to, I mean, it's not a huge amount in ad revenue, especially if you're not a large YouTuber. It's like maybe a couple dollars or something, but those view counts kind of motivate the content creator to create more videos, and view counts now are just really nothing like they used to be. And just the it's a really different playing field now. But it used to be great. I used to really like YouTube, but it's not what it used to be.
So what are you up to these days, Bryce? Anything sort of tech related, or you sort of stopped doing all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I'm not as interested in it as I was, but I might maybe in the future I might get back into it. But yeah.
Okay. All right, Steve. Any questions?
Well, just to hit on what he kind of mentioned before is right now just so many people use YouTube and upload it on a daily basis. I think they theorized it would take 4,300 years to watch all the videos on YouTube. So obviously, it's going to be hard for people to find certain things or whatever. But even for a smaller YouTuber, it's possible. And recently, I did have a YouTube network interested in me joining their network, and it wasn't necessarily. I only have maybe not quite 400 regular viewers, or not viewers, but people who have me on their channel. But how many views I actually get off of it, I think that you got to have at least 200 views per day. And considering they get all these small YouTubers, I think they have 6,000 partnered YouTubers, and then that really, I think they're the largest network in Europe. So there's certain ways you can get views. And even one of my earliest ones, I considered my worst YouTube video. It has one of the highest for some reason. I don't know, like 10,000 views last time I looked. But it was actually my one of my first and awful YouTube videos. You never know who'll watch.
Definitely. So, any questions for Bryce, Steve? You had a question?
Oh no, that was just more of a statement. But actually, I did have a little question on his 4K television, but he kind of answered it with, because we had somebody on here before talking about 1080p on a 4K television. They didn't quite like it, but he said it was actually pretty good.
What size TV is it, Bryce? Is it 55 or what size is it?
55, yeah.
All right, cool. What are you got hooked up to at the moment? Apple TV and that sort of thing?
Yeah, just the Apple TV.
What brand is that one, Bryce?
It's the Sony.
Cool.
Yeah, it's one of the original 4Ks that Sony released with the speakers, like the speakers on the side. Yeah.
All right, nice one. Jennifer, any questions for Bryce?
So, Bryce, so you are, I guess you are a techie, but you're not doing the reviews so much anymore. But have you always been into technology since you were a kid? And is it still something you're passionate about?
Yeah, I mean, I was into it for a long time, but then I just kind of, I guess it's just because around the time when I was really into it, there was a lot of change going on. Like the iPhone came out, like there was a huge amount of change, and I mean, anyone would have been fascinated by it. So it was a hobby, and I could afford to get all the new stuff. So it was a really good time to be interested in it. But yeah, now Apple and the larger companies really aren't. Not that I expect them to be innovating at that level, because would just be completely unrealistic. But
Right.
2007 onwards, the innovation was insane. I mean, everything was changing. Even the small things, the keyboards changed, and there was always something new coming out and interesting. But now it's like the latest that we've got is the Galaxy Gear watches, and it's really not. I mean, they're pretty cool, but it's something you buy, you look at it, and you get bored of it.
Yeah, it's not a game changer the way it was when the iPhone came out.
I mean, when the iPhone came out, that was incredible. That was crazy. I mean, that was really a game changer. That was something that you'd play with for months and you'd still be amazed with it. So
even the same with the iPad. I can remember when the iPad came out, that was huge. And the first time I actually borrowed an iPad off someone for the weekend, I was doing some tech stuff and they wanted me to look at it. I'm like, yeah, give it to me. I'll have a look and work it out. And I'm like, oh my God, I have an iPad in my hands. It was huge,
It was like more exciting back then.
Yeah,
I agree.
The iPad. I love the iPad.
I still have my iPad 1. The first one I bought, we use it just for music now. It's got a crappy engine to play, brand new apps and stuff, but we load all the music up on it. It's still a great device.
Does your amp do AirPlay at all, Andrew?
Don't think it does AirPlay. I don't have it hooked in for that, but it does I've got a Harman card on amp. It does a whole bunch of things.
Mine does. I just found out the other day it does, so that's cool. Jenna, what about you, Bryce? What do you use your iPad for? You love the iPad?
Yeah, I use mine every day. The iPad Air is great. I pretty much get it, every new release of the iPad. I couldn't live without it. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. Jodie, any questions?
Sure. With all the stuff that's been happening with Google now making users become identified users so they can post comments, and also with all the handheld devices and so many people who are adding content, obviously everything's changed. And you were a pioneer. You were one of the first people who really mastered YouTube and took advantage of everything it offered. It has changed tremendously. Where do you see it going? Do you think it'll ever fade away? Is there something new that you think might be on the horizon, like Zarfo or something like that?
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be other platforms that are going to be out there. They're going to be really popular. But in terms of where YouTube is going, I only see it getting bigger, and I think there's going to be a concentration at the top, and then there's going to be the few at the top, and then there's going to be everyone else. And generally, if you're over 1 million subscribers, you're pretty much in the top. And then there's everyone else, where they probably now it's more likely for them to stagnate and not move as fast. But the people at the top are snowballing. It's insane. I mean, when I last looked at the top subscribed YouTuber, it was like Ray William Johnson with 6 million subscribers. Now it's like 20 or 30 million with PewDiePie. But these guys are making big money. They're making millions and millions, like 20 million.
Oh my gosh.
Within the space of a year.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
How much is that a month?
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
It's over $1 million a month.
1.8.
Yeah. It depends as well. Like, some months obviously you're going to have fluctuations and stuff. But the YouTube community, they're kind of they don't speak much about how much they make, but there's a lot of money to be made on it. I know that. So some of the channels, like I've spoken to people that have really large channels, and I mean, some of these guys are making like
6 figures.
Just as a side hobby, they might be making like $2,000-$4,000 a day.
Gee, that's wow.
Oh my gosh.
So but it's definitely viable, and I mean, if you're in the top, then I really only see positive things. But if you're part of the everyone else, then I don't really see.
Have you, Jennifer? A question to you. Have you seen Craig Shipp's videos at all?
Yeah, I have. That he does. He makes. I think he makes some fantastic videos. I think he puts a lot of effort into them, and he speaks very clearly and describes everything well. I'm very impressed with his work.
Yeah, definitely.
I think YouTube have a really good model too. I mean, if you're a big user, they'll go and hand you some of that advertising money. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't have these super users on there. And now they've got, some listeners may not know, but they have like YouTube warehouses set up where they actually invite their their big commercial players in to create their content. So if you go and put something up on YouTube, you go and get a few million views, or you get millions of views constantly, you'll get an email from them saying, hey, how would you like to push your product that you're creating at home in the den into one of our warehouses? And you actually get like studio time to create your product, which gives you a better product, more listeners, more watchers and so forth. So they've got a really good model the way they do it.
Yep. Definitely.
Actually, recently there was a YouTube network that I believe it was bought by Disney for $500 million. I think it was one of Shea Carroll's networks, but I think it was partnered with several different people, and it's really becoming a big, company almost. I mean, I think they're going to be going into video production, maybe even what we see on television, we may see on YouTube as far as, cable-like channels. And it was funny before because a lot of people were, kind of making fun of it before, like saying, oh, it's only good for YouTube. But now, there's some really big money makers on YouTube and with partner channels and everything else.
Jacob, any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead, mate. Ask away, buddy.
Well, is your podcast going to be coming back, Bryce?
Probably not.
Darn.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah. While you guys were reading, I found out something about YouTube.
What's up?
The founders are splitting.
Yes, they are. Yes, I meant to mention that. Yeah, they're splitting. Yeah, they're leaving YouTube. Did you hear about that, Bryce, at all?
No, I didn't.
No, that's happening. So yeah, that is happening.
Any reason for that, or are they just,
I think they're moving on to new things, moving on to new products, projects and stuff.
Well, good for them. I mean, they've done well with YouTube and made their dollars, and I'm sure what they move on to will be, pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Andrew mentioned something. Have you checked out the new Humax Fortune PVR yet?
I have not, Brad, but you tell us about it. Have you had a bit of a look at it? I believe it comes with a hefty price tag.
It is indeed, but I'm won't be rushing out at any time getting one because it's very pricey, and I think it's Fortune, and it's got like some sort of server built into it.
Fortuners. I mean, the only problem with Fortuners is that means you've got 4 pieces of content you need to at some point watch. Record.
I
mean, I've never had a point in time where I'm like, oh man, there's 4 things I want to watch right now on TV. Which one do I watch? Maybe 2. Mm-hmm. I've had times where there's been 3, and I'm like, geez. But 4, that's...
Yeah, true. That's what I was thinking before as well. I don't really need 4 tuners, but anyway. Bryce, what about you? Have you seen the new Humax 4 tuner PVR yet?
I haven't, no.
Check it out, mate, and let me know what you think.
All right.
That said, Humax, it's a good company, and they have some great products. I've got a Humax DVR myself.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 tuners, I guess they'll work out if the market wants it or not. If they sell. If they don't sell, then they know exactly where they are.
I think the price is around about $649, which is a pretty,
So can I watch 4 channels at the same time?
Well, it's only for free to air, so
okay.
Not for cable TV, which is the IQ3, which is going to be coming out very soon. So,
how many? That's got like 10 channels or something crazy.
8 tuners. 8 tuners.
8 tuners. Yeah.
That's not. They're not all for recording shows.
Of course.
They're for different sort of things. I think there's like 4 tuners, and then to record shows on Foxtel, and the other rest is for other things. But yeah, that should be interesting to see what we.
I mean, the majority of the time, I still watch TV old school. I go to work, I come home. Christy and I, my wife, we have a young child in the house, 3-4 weeks old now, and we switch the TV on at night. It's sort of background noise till about 8:30. We sit down for about an hour, and whatever original Australian programming is on at 8:30 at night, we'll watch that for an hour, maybe 2 hours, and go to bed. And that's it. It's pretty simple the way we There's so much high tech, but you can still do it old school.
Now, what about QuickFlix, Andrew? You've been using QuickFlix during the week. I want to ask about this. What's your view on the QuickFlix?
I have been using QuickFlix. I'm really enjoying it. The video quality is really good. I guess it's probably an SD kind of quality, but that's fine for most things you want to do. You know, particularly considering it's streaming, and if you want to go HD, you're going to chew up a lot more bandwidth as well. I've got an unlimited plan, but still, but I'm really enjoying it. The only thing that I would say is, as much as they do have a lot of content, there's a number of pieces of content on there that they don't have that I'd love to have. And when I do a search, I guess this is one of the things that I dislike, is when I do a search for things, it'll be like, yep, here you go, you know, not a problem, we've got that series or that program for you. But then when I click on it, it says you need to borrow the DVDs. Sorry, your account doesn't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't worked out a way to be able to do a search where it's just streaming. You know, if I can have Breaking Bad, but I have to, you know, do the DVD or Blu-ray swap, I don't want to know about that, because that's coming up in a search that, you know, I'm here now to watch something. So it's kind of like teasing. Yeah. All I want to know is, what can I stream right now? So it'd be good to have that sort of function. I know why they do it, but it's just frustrating.
What device do you use it on at the moment?
iPad and just basically desktop. So I've got my MacBook. I, you know, hook it in through the MacBook and then back into the TV from there.
Have they done any updates to the site yet? Because I haven't checked for a while. Like when you're playing, is that anything?
I'm honestly not sure if they've done an update. I was playing around with it this week, which is the first time that I have played around with it. And as I said, it's a really great service, and I hope they do really well in the Australian market, because you know, if companies like Netflix do come down under, it's going to make it difficult for the Aussie QuickFlix to compete. But considering they're doing what they're doing, movies and TV shows for $10 a month, it's pretty good. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, they even brought out that new show, that what's that, Silicon Valley?
Yeah, Silicon Valley. That's coming out to QuickFlix, which is one of those shows that I haven't had a look at yet, but it's been on my to-do list. So now that it's, you know, easy and it's a click away, I'll definitely be looking at that. And I think that the good thing about QuickFlix is it's a $10 monthly fee. There's a lot of content on there. And, you know, you can get stuff by downloading torrents and all these sorts of things. But people have shown before, if you make something, I mean, Netflix have shown in the US, if you make something easy, cheap, and a great user experience, people just won't bother doing the downloads and all that sort of stuff from dodgy sites and potentially getting viruses. They'll just click and play.
Yep, definitely. And thanks to the person from QuickFlix for hooking up Andrew as well. He did a great job.
Yeah, Ollie down there at QuickFlix. So,
he actually listens to the podcast, by the way, too.
Yeah, g'day, shout out there to Ollie. Yeah, we're enjoying the service, and obviously there's a lot of other products, as we said, in the market. 10 Play, which have got a great product. Channel 9 are also bringing something through. Foxtel have got their Go streaming service, so it's a healthy segment in Australia, and I hope they can do it well and actually keep that segment local instead of being bombarded by US competitors.
Yep. What's your view on all that, Bryce? Have you checked out QuickFlix at all, or Foxtel Play, or that sort of service, 10 Play, or?
I actually haven't checked out QuickFlix, but the last time I checked it, I didn't see much content on there that I couldn't get on Netflix, but I'm assuming that's changed.
Well, that's changed big time, mate. We had the CEO on here not long ago, and apparently there's some big changes coming. Chromecast here now in Australia, and what's your view on that?
The Chromecast?
Yeah.
I haven't used it. I actually do want to get a Chromecast. Have you used one?
I've got one. The one Landry, mate. I've got one.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. But no, not really. I don't really use that much, but I use the AirPlay more.
Yeah, true.
I just got the Chromecast to review the QuickFlix when it comes out, just to see what it's like, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So QuickFlix is going to be coming out on the Chromecast?
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. Yes. Yep.
I'll definitely have to get a Chromecast and when it comes out.
Yeah, definitely. And just ring up, just tell them you want to try it out, and you know they'll probably give you a month free or something.
Sweet.
And what's your view on the? We're just about to wrap up. What's your view on the IQ3 and that sort of thing, Foxtel?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely a long overdue update. But hopefully it will be. Well, most likely will be much better than the current, but I'm looking forward to it.
Apparently going to be apps and stuff on there and that.
Yeah.
Better Wi-Fi, building Wi-Fi. Okay. Andrew, what's your final view of this show, and where can they get hold of you? Let's wrap up.
Yeah, it's always great to be on the show, and some really good news items. And obviously, with Worldwide Developer Conference during the week, we've been watching a lot of videos in the office. So it'll be interesting to see how they push forward. So thanks, Bryce, for being on the show. And if you want to have a look at Bryce's YouTube, it's Blista57 YouTube channel. And so it's been fantastic to have you on the show. And if you want to get me, I'm on the Zarfo app at Andrew. You can grab that from the App Store, or on Facebook and Twitter at Cunning Drew. And
you can get me on Twitter at Brad Oz and at Techwebcast. Also check out the Facebook page on Techwebcast as well. So hit like on that and leave some feedback on iTunes about this podcast. Jennifer, what about you?
I thought the show was great tonight. Bryce, it was super meeting you. Very nice talking with you. And you can find me at jenniferruggiero.com, or also check out my show, Get Nerdy With It, getnerdywithit.com.
Also, one more thing, Jody, mention your new app you would have out on iOS.
Oh, you mean Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, you have a new app.
So you said Jody. Oh. I have Get Nerdy With It app on both iOS and Android. So definitely check it out. Download it.
Explain to people how you did that.
Actually, I used Spreaker to make it, because I have a subscription with Spreaker, and they have a service where they'll help you kind of construct an app, and then you can install or submit it to the App Store yourself, and make a few changes and submit it. Cool. And that's kind of how I did it.
That costs money. That costs money to do that.
Not too much money, but it does cost a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I think it's worth it.
Okay, I'm not looking to that. Jacob, what's your final view on this show?
Hey, I liked having Bryce on. It was nice meeting him. And you can follow me at jazzbot326691Z.
Okay, Jody, what about you? What's your final view on this show? And hope you get your Mac fixed very soon.
Yeah, me too, man. I'll tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've had to push that little button because it keeps telling me I don't have enough memory. But the view of the show, it was a great show. As always, it's entertaining and good information. I enjoy everybody's input and perspectives. And Bryce, thanks so much for being on this week. With regard to where you can find me, I'm still wondering where I am. So,
wow.
Actually, you can find me on Twitter as Sunswept, and you can find me pretty much all the usual places as either Jody Rains or WebMarcom. My website is webmarcom.net.
And before we forget, I'll get to Steve in a minute. Before we get next week, we have Renee Ritchie on next week, Andrew from iMore.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that one. He's fantastic commentator.
Definitely indeed. Jacob, who else we have on next week? Because you got one more guest as well. Mention him. Chris.
Yeah, we're going to have someone from Pixar.
Pixar, yes, indeed.
Wow.
Okay.
It's a big show next week, Renee Ritchie, and we have someone coming through from Disney's Pixar, so that is going to be an unmissable one.
Yep, can't miss that.
Definitely. Now, Steve, what about you? What's your final view on this show?
That was awesome show with Bryce, and of course we update with what he's doing since he's been on here before, and a little bit about Google and YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter as Chatterbox_live.
All right. What else? Is that it, Andrew? That is it. So. That is it. Shout out to Brian Boer.
Yep.
What do you want to say to Brian, Jacob?
Lost again.
iPhone, Apple rocks.
Hey, Andrew, what do you want to say to Brian Boer?
Next time, Brian, and next time there's a war we'd love of Android versus iPhone with Brian and Craig Shipp. We would love to have a camera in the room.
Definitely. I just want to mention before we go. I just want to mention a comment that what Craig made, and I'm not sure. I just want to get your opinion on this. He made a comment about people who buy the iPhone. If he reckons people who have jobs and this sort of thing can buy iPhones. What's your view on that?
I think it's well recognized that 15-20% people who generally buy iPhones are often higher economic countries, and things like that. So I think that is true. It's obviously a generalization, but that is true. I mean, a lot of the poorer countries around the world tend to buy Android devices because they're cheaper to get into and things like that. So, definitely in general, people who have iPhones tend to have, higher standing employment and come from, higher socioeconomic countries and things like that. It's not the rule, but it's a generalization for sure. And, the numbers do point to that.
Well, you can get iPhones on prepaid now, so anyone can buy them. They're not
absolutely
to anyone. They're not who's working.
In the iPhone 4, 4S, and things like that, for sure.
Definitely. Okay, well, thanks for that comment, Andrew, and thanks to Bryce for coming on, Jennifer and Jody and Jacob and Steve. See you all guys next week. You lost the game, Jacob.
Well, that's it for Techwebcast this week. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed having your mind expanded. Tune in next week for more tech talk with Brad, Jason, and whatever crazy guest they've managed to rope in. Don't forget to get the Techwebcast app from iTunes. Follow us on Twitter @Techwebcast, and of course check us out on Facebook too. Until next time, may the tech be with you. Peace.